Hey, Segovia, back with another one. Make sure you guys watch from start to finish. That helps the channel grow. Hit that thumbs up. With that being said, let's get into it.
I have never seen the war that I am seeing between the boomer generation and the millennial generation. Never before seen this. It is unbelievable.
Really?
The amount of hatred between these two generations is unbelievable. It's really bad.
So what's the core thing they're fighting about?
Betrayal. The boomer generation really is a generation that believed that the template for success was a very specific thing. They themselves made all kinds of decisions that changed the entire framework and the landscape of this world and the society in a way that would not work anymore for what they did essentially when they were 20. So they sold an idea to the millennials. The millennials followed that ideal. Because of doing so, they fell off a cliff, basically, bounced themselves straight towards two huge recessions, didn't work in relationships. So all of a sudden they're like, wait a minute, I trusted you and you misled me. And now I can never get what you got. There's no hope for the future. And now you won't step out of the position that you're in, where I'm convinced you're making decisions that harmed me.
So you're telling me that the gas comes through here, passes through here to get through there? That right there. And this moves.
Never thought about it.
Yeah, sure.
If I go park on red, I'm going to get a citation. But if JT codes and sets up his tent,
very same spot,
nothing happens.
Welcome to the city of Los Angeles.
Are you following the story with the scientists? Are you So,
I am.
you know, Rob,
and at first, I'll admit to you, at first I was like, oh, come on, another conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
And then I started reading and I was like, oh,
you think there's some credibility to it?
There could be.
Yeah. I mean, what is it? 12 scientists or 11 scientists. 4 of them were from NASA.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm fully there. Okay. I don't know if I'm fully there that something's going on. But one of the guys, his name is it David Whitlock? This is in 2022. Oh, yeah. I plan on living, not suicidal at all, just concerned about what happens when you prove God is real. Okay, this is 2022, 3.5 years ago. Go a little bit lower, Rob. May God bless your soul. Such a positive. That's April 21st. Okay, and then you see all the other stuff that's coming. If he did kill himself, it was DW murderers. So the market's kind of reacting what's going on here. There's just a lot of questions. But tell me, what are you thinking?
I think it bears investigation. Listen, the Israelis have been killing Iranian scientists for forever. We probably kill scientists. Other countries likely kill scientists. I have no idea if these guys are connected. I mean, apparently, work-wise, they're not connected, but maybe there's a foreign actor out there that has a policy that requires, you know, a technological setback, and you do that by killing scientists. I don't know.
It's anti-gravity. Yeah. It's anti-gravity. Those 13, 12 scientists that's coming up missing, and some of them are off, they found out how to curve gravity, how to bend gravity, which in tunes create anti-gravity. It's anti-gravity. Because what other big reason why you would off all those scientists? What would be the biggest reason? What would threaten these big corporations? Anti-gravity. That would mean we wouldn't need oil. We would not need oil. Think about that for a second. No, it would be free energy. Everything would be free energy. So with that being said, these big corporations had to get them out the way, allegedly, because as I continue to dive down this rabbit hole, all of those scientists that are missing, they were learning how to bend gravity. They were learning anti-gravity. Get in the comments and let me know what you think. Allegedly.
Was this just a coincidence or another staged incident?
Tonight will be classic. It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight in the room.
Hours before the chaos, Caroline Leavitt told America to watch tonight because Donald Trump would bring the heat and there would be shots fired. Then suddenly, real shots were fired near the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Shots fired The Secret Service rushes in and they let Trump continue to sit there. And now they're going to resume the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and Trump still plans to deliver a speech. I'm not saying this was staged to boost Trump's tanking approval numbers, but it certainly looks odd.
It ain't gonna
Trump
work.
was rushed out.
It worked
guests
last
hid
time.
under
It ain't
tables.
gonna work
The
this
Secret
time.
Service swarmed the room. So the
Obviously.
question everyone is asking now, how did they know? Was shots fired just political slang or a chilling phrase that aged horribly within hours? Americans deserve transparency. If this was a real attack, security failures must be exposed. If it was political theater, that would be one of the biggest manipulations in modern history. Until the full truth comes out, millions will keep asking the same question: coincidence or calculated?
All right, y'all. So this has been going on. I have more videos that I took on my phone, but I had to get on Instagram and show y'all this. I am not crazy. So earlier I was going to the store, right? And I seen the clouds over in this direction. And I said, damn, I ain't never seen clouds like that. And I tried to take a video, but I couldn't because the light had turned. And so I'm like, bro, I've never seen clouds like this. It looked like some shit finna pop out. Now I'm sitting on my couch with the balcony door open. And bro, y'all, this is not lightning, dude. Okay, that little part looked like lightning. But the rest of this is not lightning, dude. Look at this. Motherfuckers is fighting in the sky. They cover it up with the clouds. It's like cloaked ships. I don't know how to explain this. But this is real life, y'all. This is literally live right now. Taylor Nicole. Look at this. Wow. And it's only here. The rest of the sky is freaking clear.
On the summit ridge of Mount Everest, it's littered with frozen bodies. There's bodies everywhere up there. Dozens of them.
You saw them?
Oh yeah, they're on the route. Like there's tons of them.
Okay, but if there's there, can't you just toss them down the hill?
People won't touch them because it's bad juju up there. But if they are close enough to a crevasse or the edge, we'll push them over. But most of them, are, let's say, 20 feet off the trail. And it's like, what's the point? You're going to go over, just leave them alone, right? But the crazy thing about all those bodies up there is that it's not a bad way to go because you're perfectly preserved for eternity. Like, it's like Walt Disney, right, is in a cryo chamber and shit, right? Just go to Everest. There's like all kinds of bodies they could bring back to life, right? That technology ever comes in. But the crazy thing is that the ravens fly up to the summit ridge up there. So all the bodies that are up there that don't have like their goggles still intact, the ravens peck out their eyeballs. So there's just these frozen bodies down there, like frozen in time with no eyes. It's the creepiest thing. And 99% of those bodies that are up there, they all made the summit.
Really?
Yeah.
That's why you turned around.
Because they got summit fever. They didn't realize that the summit's only halfway. You got to get down. And when you're coming down, if you got nothing left in the tank, if you gave up everything to get to that summit, now you're coming down. Like you can get in trouble real quick at that altitude.
Did y'all catch Sabrina Carpenter's intro at Coachella?
Where are you off to?
California.
But you are. You know it's not right out there. Yeah. It's wrong.
A lot of people said this was actually really eerie in real life. Now, we all know Sabrina Carpenter was a Disney girl, right? And she did the bait and hook, has a very young audience following her from her Disney days, and now she is representing this. Okay, and then we see this intro. Now, there are parts at her performance where she turned the Hollywood sign into Sabrina Wood. And to me, it looks like there's little critters crawling all over the sign. Now, we have in my own opinion, demon-infested performance. And then we have Justin Bieber over here, literally talking about God. Now, he's not perfect, and I'm not claiming him to be, but what I am saying is he was preaching the gospel. He was saying good things while he was up there, and he was getting other people to acknowledge God. Now listen to what Big Sean said.
You know God has his hands on you. You dedicated your whole life to this, man. You gave us your whole life, bro. Y'all know what I'm saying? I think I speak for everyone when I just gotta say, thank you, bro. Directly or indirectly, I think you taught all of us.
Sean went on to say, you could have literally shaped into these people, but you didn't. You've stayed true to yourself. And though all these people are focused on taking over the world and on this and on that and on growing and increasing in a negative way, You did not shape into them. And you're an encouragement to us. I mean, someone needs to stand up in the industry. There's only so much someone can do before they're, you know? But at least he's standing up trying to do something.
They've taken and never once have you turned into them. You always have been giving and figured out a way to persevere. So I'm speaking on behalf of everybody. Thank you so much, bro.
So, I think maybe he got in at a very young age, so he didn't really know no better, right? Imagine like getting in at 14, 15, 16 years old. You don't really know right from wrong, and now he's trying to get out. And that's why he's miserable and has all these crazy episodes up and down, right? That's what happens. And we got a clip coming up from a football player that didn't get drafted because he chose to represent himself. And we'll get into that a little deeper when we get there.
How old were you when you realized your dryer has had a space for pillows this entire time? You can actually slide them right in. They fit like a glove. Prepare to be blown away. I need you to share this video with absolutely everybody. And someone please get the blue comment in the comment section. Look inside your dryer and you're going to see the 3 little dividers. They look like this. These thingies. Then take any pillow that needs drying, slide them right in, and watch the magic. It works flawlessly. I know what you're gonna ask. DJ, do we need to flip them over so that they dry evenly? No. Oh, no. This method, when they slide right in the little dividers, it actually works 10 times better. I know, because I just tried this hack on multiple sets of pillows, and it works 10 times better. They work flawlessly. But now you know. Mind blown! Don't forget to follow and like. We're almost to 400,000 nosies on the second account. Thank you for watching to the very end.
So, Sony accidentally rolled out a new feature on PlayStation that put a time limit on your digital purchases? Meaning that once the time runs out, you do not have access to what you literally bought. Basically, how DRM works is if you don't check into PlayStation Network for about 30 days, they will just take away your access to whatever game you bought. The game you bought with your money will literally expire if you don't check in. We are just inching closer and closer to the day where ownership is not a thing anymore. We're gonna have to get a damn mortgage for our video games and movies. First, Blockbuster ended. Then they started taking away DVDs from Best Buy. And now when you buy a video game physically, it doesn't even matter because you have to update the game and use online to use its software now. Y'all, I feel so sad for this next generation because we literally cannot own media anymore. At this point, we all just need to run to our local vintage stock or GameStop and stock up on all the old video games and make our own library because the days of owning video games or movies are over. What a load of scum!
I mean, you would think that these companies are slowly starting to screwing themselves over, right? People, you start taking my games away, I'm not going to play no more. I'm not going to buy no more PlayStations for $800. I'm not going to buy no more Xboxes for $1,000. These games that are $100, and then you take them away in 30 days, whatever. But no, people still buy them. People still line up. Like I got all my old school games over here. I'm not a video game player no more, but back when the last time I bought a video game, it was an actual hard copy at the store. But now you got to download it. Even if you buy a hard copy at the store, you still can't use that CD. You still got to download it onto your Xbox or PlayStation.
It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight in the room. So everyone should tune in. It's
I didn't want to say this, but this is why we need the ballroom.
You have Tulsi Gabbard in that room.
It's all eating.
You, of course, have J.D. Vance in that room, naturally the President of the United States. And as John mentioned, the White House Correspondents' Dinner is where we are presently.
John McCain almost
Is
became
that Bernie?
president. You have his wife on record 3 or 4 years ago saying, we all knew about Epstein, but for whatever reason, nobody would go after him. Please cue this into the edit.
It hides in plain sight. Epstein was hiding in plain sight. We all knew about him. We all knew what he was doing. But we had no one that was, legal aspect that would go after him. They were afraid of him. For whatever reason, they were afraid of him.
For whatever reason, nobody would go after him. They were afraid what could have made a U.S. senator who almost became president scared to come forward with the crimes being committed on our soil against children. Do children's lives matter? Hashtag children's lives matter.
I mean, they knew that he was doing it, but the machine wasn't done with him. You know why the machine was done with him? Because Trump used him to get in the office. That was their whole thing, right? Drain the swamp. We're going to get rid of all these PDF files. We're going to, we're going to release the Epstein files if you elect us. Pretty much, right? Remember when they came out, all those people came out of the White House holding their signs and taking pictures and all that? And then he got into office and then he was like, there's nothing. There is none. Oh, you guys are still worried about that? That was back in 2020. Who cares? Right? And then he got pressured into releasing them. And it is a game, y'all. That's the reason why they got rid of him, because he used them. He used them to get in the office. And it worked. We fell for it hook, line, and sinker. I don't know why I did it, y'all. I don't know why I feel like I gained 50 pounds right now.
Candace Owens' father was in charge of security at Sandy Hook. Yeah, I mean, look, you guys wanted a conspiracy? Here's one you should look into. Candace Owens' father. Yeah, he was in charge of maintenance and security at Sandy Hook Elementary. And yes, he was in charge of it when that happened. Now, somebody pointed this out to Ian Carroll, Candace's little henchman. And his response was, I'm going to have to ask her about that, because that just sounds like one of those viral claims that is just made up on the internet. But no, it's true. It's listed on his LinkedIn. He was proud of it. But that's conspiracy for another day, right? No need to worry about that. No need to worry about the fact that Alex Jones was sued into oblivion for what he said about that school. Oh, and Candace Owens' father was the one who was supposed to be in charge of security. Oh, and then of course, Candace Owens and Alex Jones have the same lawyer. But you know what? It's conspiracy theory shit. Don't worry about it.
I've always been fascinated by obelisks. This is an aerial photo of the unfinished obelisk at Aswan. This obelisk, if it had been removed from the quarry, would have weighed about 1,000 tons. Your average obelisk, which is a monolith of granite, weighs about 500 tons. This one weighs 1,000 tons. Any obelisk is just an anomaly. I mean, they're huge. And what happened to the unfinished obelisk was that as they were cutting and quarrying the obelisk, they noticed as they started to get under the obelisk that it had a natural crack, that they couldn't see it until they went under the obelisk. As soon as they saw that crack, they stopped work on the obelisk.
You know what is so disappointing about his death? Since his wife has become CEO of his company, she hasn't said not one word about that war.
Such a fucking scumbag. I mean, she is like literally like the face of profiteering off somebody's debt. Like, she is the textbook definition of a grift.
Right.
It's like, dude, I mourned my cat for like 5 times as long as she mourned her husband.
Right.
I had to put down my cat. I was fucking devastated for that for like a month and a half. Like, bro,
Barry. It's just so crazy that even that is divided. Like, even though, there's people saying, oh, people mourn differently and just making up excuses because it's their team, it's their side. They don't want to be wrong. People can't take a step back and look at it like, what's going on here? Right? They're just so brainwashed. People are so brainwashed. The people on both sides so brainwashed to the fact that they're going to go try to assassinate a leader or whatever, right? Just because they're so brainwashed. Like, and then that's true. She hasn't spoke about that war once. Hasn't said nothing. So-called Christian up there. She's a pastor now, preaching to the choir. And she hasn't even spoke up about that. That is wrong. That is right. Nothing.
When Aaliyah died for a wrongful death, he got paid $90 million for her death.
They killed her. And that's what I've been saying. They killed her.
Indianapolis, you have a lost subterranean river that runs 26 miles beneath your city? There's a lost portion of said city under there? That's the entrance that runs beneath Indianapolis. This river was covered up in the 1880s and 1890s. Rumor has it there's a lost city down there. I am going to go try to find it.
I think we really do have an entire subspecies of creatures that do exist mostly inside the earth, and they are not readily surface dwelling anymore. And I do believe, like in Lake Havasu City, Arizona, man, inside the London Bridge is a massive room, like a throne room, where they engage in this magic. But this Brotherhood of the Serpent, they call upon Nachash, the dragon. And
would that be in normal terms Satan?
Yeah, most people know him as Satan, right? Yeah. But like there is a great red dragon. Like it's a physical, that's what he looks like in reality. He was cursed, and man, he made him a monster. Yahweh made him a monster. And they would commune with these things. There's 13 grandfathers take 13 of their grandsons, and they bring them into these rooms and do these things on these specific times and rituals for all kinds of stuff. But the dragons tell them the future. This is like always what they've been able to do. Is Satan leads Yeshua up onto a great high place and says, I shows them all the nations of the earth and all their kingdoms and their reigns in a moment of time. He shows them the future. That's what they do. They can show you what's to come. This is why we get hunted by them. He knows if we're going to be part of his adversaries. He knows if we're going to be on his enemy list. And that's why he targets us at our youth. That's what so happens. So many people, they're like, why has my life been a nightmare from the beginning? It's because you have a purpose and a destiny that adversary absolutely categorically does not want to come to pass. It's a real life Terminator scenario. And so he sends his assets in to destroy people, to ruin their life. And those meeting places happen when they sit down in these rooms and they try to call up these creatures. It's from inside the earth. It wasn't like ethereal mist. They were physical things that would come out of these tunnels, and they would come into the room and they would consume the offerings that were given there. And then the words of the Nachash would come forth, and they would prophesy to these guys. Like they would prophesy out of the mouth of the serpent what each one of their life callings, their shots. He's the shot caller, man. It's like a pimp from prison. He's calling the shots, and you had a bunch of fallen watchers that were in prison in Tartarus for a reason. Yeah, but they got ways of getting messages out, just like the cronies in jail today, and that's what a lot of people are dealing with. They think they're dealing with the top dog, and they're like, I'm finally into the big game. And it's like you're dealing with, a private in the hierarchy, but he can masquerade like a general. And so some people are really dealing with death himself, and some of them are dealing with one of his princes. And this is what my family's covenant was with the dragon. They didn't mess around, man. They went all the way to the chain of command. They uncovered a bunch of my great-grandfather's grandfather was an archaeologist who dug into the Indian mounds out in the Ohio River Valley. And they started finding a priest class that was these serpent worshipers. And that's what they started calling upon. And they started trying to wake up and rise up.
I can tell you the moment I lost faith in democracy, I was in a Verizon and I'm sitting there getting a new phone, and this woman walks in and she storms up to the guy that's helping me. Can I help you, ma'am? She goes, yeah, I was just here the other day and I bought this phone charger. It doesn't work. Like when you plug it in, it doesn't charge the phone. She goes, I can't even plug it in. And you know how they have the fold-in prongs?
Oh, she couldn't fold them out?
They were folded in still, and she just smacks two pieces of plastic together like he's a idiot.
I used to work at a Verizon store. The amount of people, I would sell them a cell phone and then they would come in. My Facebook doesn't work. They don't know how to log into Facebook.
You're the cell phone guy. What do you mean you don't know my Facebook password?
Okay, let me play a little devil's advocate because I had to deal with this today, dealing with my insurance. These people that go into those offices pissed off, I'm just thinking they're going in there pissed off because they came to you to buy that $10,000 phone, right? Not 10,000, but it's expensive, right? I came in here to buy this $3,000 phone. And then when I have a problem with it, I got to talk to somebody from a different country. And we're not on the same language barrier. Their phones are breaking up, phones are crashing, they hang up on you, right? So I have to come all the way back over here because your customer service, you guys pay and pay them pennies on the dollar. When I'm in here, I'm your best friend. You know what I mean? That's why I think a lot of people go into these businesses, me included, pissed off, right? I was pissed off with insurance. Like, I pay you guys this much money every month. And when I need a help, I got to talk to somebody that I can't understand what they're saying, right? It's just frustrating. It's frustrating dealing with corporate America nowadays, y'all. And it's only going to get worse because AI is going to take over, and now it's going to be a computer you're talking to, right?
It's one of the first people I started doing readings on was Selena Gomez.
Okay.
And I have seen...
Is she here anymore?
So it's complicated. She is hosting an interdimensional parasite within her body, but anything from the spiritual realm, in order for it to get into the physical realm, needs a human host. Sometimes you could use like an animal, like a dog. Like you see a lot of like skinwalkers will use dogs,
Right.
but most of the time they need a human.
Like, what is it? Is it like a demon? Is it a like...
What I see in Selena is a little bit more rare. There's an interdimensional being in her. It's a parasite. And this thing has, I would say, about 90% taken over her, from what I can see as a psychic, obviously. But the amount of consciousness that she has left is very slim. I don't think she's all there in her head. I don't think she's acting, because the thing is that this interdimensional parasite does everything it can to mimic a human being. But they're not that smart. And that's why you see like the glitches and everything like that.
Lady Gaga has become completely different, and everything got worse after her ritual at Coachella. She's not even hiding it anymore. Everyone there thought they were attending a real concert, but it was actually a full-on satanic ritual. Too many people overestimate Lady Gaga, but she stopped being normal the moment she allowed something like being vomited on in public. Yes, that really happened. So imagine what she's capable of in private. It must be far worse. Last year at Coachella, she made a special appearance. There was a Lady Gaga dressed in white and another in black. Both performed Poker Face, her first major hit. At the same time, the entire stage was set on a giant chessboard because, like I told you, it's a ritual, and rituals always take place on a chessboard, what's known as a dualistic plane. And at the end of the performance, the Lady Gaga in black knocks out the one in white, and the floor turns red as if it were blood, because the color red symbolizes sacrifice, the sacrifice of her former self. In reality, if you look at the path of global celebrities, they always follow the same pattern. The person goes through a trial, then is made to show a symbolic death on stage, and then comes back to life. And each time, it comes with a new artistic direction. During that same concert, Lady Gaga performs Paparazzi, and at that moment, she is dressed exactly like the character from the film Metropolis, which represents Lucifer in that movie. The worst part is how closely she is linked to Marina Abramovich. You can practically see them as best friends. Marina Abramovich is often seen as a figure associated with ritualistic performances, and many artists turn to her for these kinds of shows. And it's not just at Coachella. During another performance, Lady Gaga appeared right in the middle of a giant eye, a clear symbol suggesting total control by higher powers. Whether you like it or not, Lady Gaga has been surrounded by these strange symbols for a long time. Even back in Poker Face, she was already making the eye sign, and that song came out in 2008, so she hasn't been the same for a very long time.
Guys, I've been riding for like a couple hours now, and every house looks the same. I've tried Google Maps, it won't load. I've tried Apple Maps, it won't load. Every house looks the same. I don't know what to do. Please help me.
This is the most detailed view of a human cell ever made. The human body itself will contain around 40 trillion of these individual cells. Every human body, 40 trillion. And this is what the inside of them looks like. The human body is so much more complicated than you would ever imagine. AI will never replicate this.
I'll just say this, there's something in the cell, if you're looking at like a construction layout of the prison that the official prison had prior to the day that Jeffrey Epstein died and may still have today, I don't know. There's a part of the cell that is not on that schematic, and it is the only cell that has something that is not on the schematic.
An escape hatch, basically.
After we left the cell, he took me outside and went through every single government document that was written about this. And I think it was on the FBI one, they literally had a picture of a different cell. It was not his cell, provably.
Beautiful, right?
Y'all ever notice how certain big celebrities, they always talk about they was homeless?
Like, I ain't gonna name no names, but they always talking about how they was homeless. Like, who the fuck goes around on the street scouting homeless people to be singers, to be rappers, to be actors, to be executive producers? Who does that? Like, why all of y'all just was homeless all of a sudden? Now y'all taken off the street and y'all just superstars now. Like, come on, man. And then y'all ever notice how a lot of these celebrities is cousins? Like, you think a motherfucker came up out of nowhere and all the whole time such and such they cousin and such big as shit in the game. Oh no, that's my cousin. We don't really fuck with each other. Man, stop the bullshit. You got put the fuck on because there's some family shit going on behind the scenes. That's why all you motherfuckers is related. Like, cut the bullshit, man. Y'all ever notice these things? Tyler Perry just was fucking homeless. Now he's one of the biggest executive producers in the game. Steve Harvey even said that he was fucking homeless. Now he got his own talk show. Like, come on, man. Like, it don't be adding the fuck up. We are not dumb.
See, my thing is, it's one or two things. My whole perspective with things, before I even did these videos or anything, I remember I was watching some show like, I don't know, TMZ or Entertainment Tonight, and I saw Bruno Mars when he was like 5 years old or younger, hanging out with Prince, right? That right there told me, oh, these are all plants. Like, what are the chances Bruno Mars, who he is, was hanging out with Prince when he was a little kid? Like his dad was, or mom or something. Like, there's some type of relationship there. And then Bruno Mars turns out to be not as big as Prince, but you know, a national, worldwide known, world touring artist that was hanging out with Prince when he was little. Like, what are the chances of that, right? And then the other thing is the people that aren't related, they have to go to Hollywood. They have to get these agents. They have to get these managers to put them in rooms. They have to do things to get in those rooms, right? Like I said earlier, we're going to see an NFL player that decided he was a Heisman finalist, and he said, I don't want an agent. I want to do this all on my own. Guess what? He went undrafted. And I'm going to tell you what the comments were saying later, y'all. It's crazy. I hope I put that damn clip in here. It's the second time bringing it up. You guys are going to be pissed if it's not in here. How the heck did you find that?
Can I ask you about Scott? How is he? What's going on? Are y'all together? Are you not together?
Well, we're not together. I feel like every day is different, but we're totally getting along. Like, we have 3 beautiful kids together, and
they are beautiful.
Thank you.
Does Justin Bieber help with the kids at all, or?
What? That's interesting. Season 12, episode 1.
Yeah, I believe
lot of
it.
money.
I believe it.
I won't say what it was, but there were back-to-back days a couple months ago where I was offered whale and whale. These are episodes that would pay my bills for 7-8 months, and I could.
The Purge goes. The Purge.
Oh no, this is 25 years later, right?
Yeah,
From
this
the
is a
Purge
sequel.
one.
Yeah. So this one is the third one in the timeline. The next one is the first Purge, which is a prequel. And
yeah, I'm excited for that.
And then the last one is the Purge Forever, which is a sequel to this one.
They take your body and put it in warm water and salt. And then it floats. And let me tell you this. Did you know that when your body, right, is not worried about being a body, and your ears is not worried about hearing sound, and your eyes is not worried about seeing, something else happen? Yeah, you get in a meditative state. In that meditative state, you can do a lot of things in it. You can control the world. But they kind of like, I'm saying this. If you take warm water put salt in it. Anything you put in it, gonna float. So they put the human body in it, automatically make the body float. And the pressure of the water go in, silence, and complete darkness. And that's how you leave a simulation.
But is that the same? Do you know who made the pyramids?
Yeah, I did. So they were engineered by extraterrestrials, mostly by the Anunnaki from what I saw. There was a couple of different beings around at that time, and they used, how do I say this? Like gravitational technology. Like they were able to essentially like levitate things and then also cut large stones with technology that they didn't have to lift a finger, essentially. They had the technology to do all of that. It's quantum technology. And we'll get there eventually.
You know what the biggest industry in the world was in 1903? Beavers. Very close. Whaling was the biggest industry in the world in 1903. And whaling disappeared overnight. Like in a year and a half, it was gone. Those towns were just empty because the whale oil wasn't required anymore. Because suddenly we discovered petrochemicals. Petrochemicals was really the thing. It's really interesting how that industry just fell away.
Why am I bringing this guy up? Because in one fell swoop, he patented this. What you're seeing here is called a HAUC. That stands for HAUC, Hybrid Air Underwater Craft. That's right. They're saying in these patents that were filed and publicized this year by the U.S. Navy that they have a craft that generates anti-gravity. And they're saying that this craft flies equally well through the water and the air and space. A hybrid air underwater craft, or HAUC. And when you look at this illustration, you can clearly see that it appears to be a flying triangle.
I mean, obviously it's been quite tough. It's been a lot of miles and a lot of climbing, and there's obviously highs and lows and that, and the fact that we've all worked together so well. And I think we all know why we're here. You know, we know it's for such a good cause, and that just keeps you going. Yeah, I know this won't help Madeline. I know this won't help Madeline.
I know this is going to get a few people angry, but it needs to be said. If you've just gone on an interview and said that, then why can I still to this day donate to the official search fund? I'm not going to get into the details about this case and the controversy that surrounds it and the thing that everybody still discusses to this day. If all of these things are not going to help, then why can I still donate to that search page to this day? If I say what I want to say, it's not going to be nice. But I guarantee she regrets saying that on live TV.
Interviewer accidentally speaks to a man who knows the truth about Federal Reserve.
You pay for your first house.
$18,000 with 17 acres.
What year?
1989. When I was a kid, cars were thousands of dollars. A brand new car, like, I don't know, $5,000. I remember seeing ads. Houses were probably, what, $10,000, $20,000 when I was a kid. A dollar used to actually be worth something. But what happened? You know what happened in 1913? Federal Reserve. Look at a dollar bill. Federal Reserve note. Okay? Who's Federal Reserve? This is their money. Right? Who are they? Are they feds? Are they part of the government? Are they a private organization? Are they run by banksters out of Europe? Look back in 1913. See what happened.
I'm gonna look into it. We got to say.
The money. Look up Federal Reserve. It's on your dollar. It's on your dollar bill. What does it mean? Who is it? Who started it?
Oh shit! Oh hell no! Hell no! Did you just? Oh shit! Oh hell no!
You know, left him hanging. He left him in there. He left him in there. He's out. You're all on your own.
Oh fuck that! Oh. Can we put a security set back? Because that just moved. Like that just moved. Like that just moved. I'm not gonna break it. That right there just moved.
This is the creepiest thing I've seen in a good minute.
This kid in college was walking and he was just like a normal kid, and this like jock guy pushed him like super hard and he like hit his head, and then like woke up. He's like, oh my gosh, that hurt so bad. And then just went on to class and stuff, and he sees this really beautiful lady. A couple months later, they ended up dating. They had kids, he had a job. All this is great, right? He said that like every night he would go into his kids' rooms and like read him a story, all this stuff. And then one night he's looking at this lamp in his living room, and he's like, there's something wrong with that lamp. Every day he would come and stare at it, and then it got so consuming to him that he like was missing work. His wife left him with the kids because he was obsessed with this lamp. Then he finally one day like went over to this lamp, and he's like, this lamp's not real. And all of a sudden the lamp started to glow, turned into like a portal, sucked him through, and he woke up on the concrete in front of the college. No. He lived 10 years in this false reality.
Damn, could you imagine? Could you imagine that trauma?
In Begonia, obviously. What's the craziest conspiracy theory that you've ever heard?
I just love that a lot of conspiracy theories end up being facts.
So there became a screen, and there was a map, and it showed the United States, the 48 contiguous states with the state division lines drawn in. I found that very surprising, but maybe that was for my benefit. And then they zoomed in on Illinois and surrounding areas. I could see under the surface of this map. Now, it was a monochromatic map. It was very gray, and it was like line art, but it was 3D. So I saw caverns under eastern Illinois. At the northern end, they were about even with the bottom tip of Lake Michigan. And at the southern end, they were as far south as Peoria, Illinois. And I've mapped out on my book website the counties that are over top these areas. I estimate based on the scale that the caverns were, there's 3 caverns. There was 2 parallel to one another at the same depth, and one between them deeper down. And so the 2 top caverns were about 1/3 of a mile underground, which with the geothermal gradient would probably put it about 75, 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Comfortable for human habitation. And then below that, close to 1/2 mile underground. So you had the 3. And they almost looked like bananas because they looked like rounded triangles the way that they were constructed. And at the southern ends, they sloped downward. And I was thinking about that. I'm like, well, that kind of makes sense. Because you could have groundwater runoff, within the caverns with the sloping downward. And also heavier gases like CO2 would sink down to that, so you have better airflow circulation within the caverns. I fed the design of the caverns into ChatGPT, and it did a forensic analysis, and it told me that's actually a good design for caverns.
Dude, holy sh! We made a piece of content yesterday, and we brought these drone operators from Ukraine down. Closest thing to drone warfare I've seen is a Predator overhead. Yep. Brought them on. This property is over 100 acres. They're like, all right, go hide. We'll give you a head start. And then they're sending the drones after you. And dude, holy sh! You can't hear where they're at. Nope. It sounds like they're right above you and they're over there. It's impossible to get away from those. I took some shots at one just for the hell. I just wanted to see what the side picture was like, and there's no way in hell. I mean, you're basically trying to hit a 4-inch dot. Once you're identified, you're
yeah. Have you ever watched a Walmart employee work? It's one of the saddest things. It's worse than watching like war footage. Probably the worst thing they do to them, the most evil part, is have you ever paid attention to the music that's playing in Walmart? They all run this thing called Walmart Radio, which is this like controlled propaganda broadcast they put Walmart employees listening to. All it's supposed to do is it gets you into this hypnotic sort of conversational rhythm. Like in your head, you're talking to a friend, is what that's supposed to sound like. It's to lull you into a false sense of like comfort and like familiarity for both the customer and the employee. And the worst one, they have like at the talk show, they'll interview random Walmart employees from around the country. They're like, today we've got Deborah, who's a 20-year veteran at store 775 in Wisconsin. Like, first of all, just think about that for a second. Working at Walmart for 20 years is hell. Now, forget about, like the working experience. If you started working at 20 years ago was 2006, right? That's before the 2008 crisis. Your earnings at Walmart have not matched inflation at all. So if you've been working at Walmart for 20 years, your quality of living has declined.
Concerts are just, first of all, nobody's, wage has matched inflation, right? But I wasn't going to post this. I was like, man, I thought he was going to go somewhere different with it. I don't want to hate on anybody that works at Walmart. But I went through the comments, everybody was saying, "Man, this is true, true, true. I've been there for 10 years. It's true, true, true." So I was like, "Okay, I got to put it on. There's something to it, right?" Anybody that works at Walmart, let me know down below. I did a lot of warehouse work. Never in a Walmart, but I used to work at a Macy's warehouse, of course, UPS, FedEx, Amazon for a little tiny bit. I've had my fair share of warehouse jobs, but never at like a Walmart, which is pretty much a giant warehouse that people can go inside and shop.
Spells.
I know.
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy. Ever since you said that too, I'm like, now I'm more conscious of like where I'm going, like what concerts I'm going to.
What's wild to think too is that artists, when they perform the songs, they're usually singing in the I am sense. And when you have 30,000 people all chanting I am whatever,
Yeah.
you know, at the same time, like that's got to do something to the collective unconscious. Like there's got to be some metaphysical stuff happening there for sure. Everybody chanting, I phrases in unison.
Countries.
I mean, I don't remember. This was a long time ago, y'all, but I remember I seen somebody that, like an artist talk about on a YouTube video or something, saying how when they're in concerts, they're controlling the audience, right? Like put your hands up, wave them side to side, put your lighters up, put your phone up, right? They're like so ego driven. Like think about comedians. What do they say? They make everyone laugh. The one person that doesn't laugh drives them crazy, right? That's the one that ruins the whole show for them. They have 10,000 people and they're 9,999 people are laughing. There's just this one guy in the front that's not laughing, and it's going to ruin his whole show, right? It's a sense of control, and in concerts, it's just another level, y'all. 50, 60,000 people, and this one person is in controlling everybody. You know what I mean? He can make them say whatever he wants them to say. Put your middle fingers up in the air, right? Anything he says to do, all these people are going to follow suit because they're all worshiping him. Pretty much. Think about it. They paid to go see him perform his music, his rituals. They paid to go see him perform his rituals. And if he tells you, look to the left and slap that person next to you, 90% of the audience is going to do it, right?
Not currently 2026. Thailand. 2569.
What?
Saudi Arabia. 1447.
I mean, the whole fan experience is ruined once you see the $150 ticket. It's ridiculous.
Here at New York Penn Station, a train ticket to the MetLife
Weren't they
Stadium
supposed
in
to
New
get
Jersey
free
or the
transportation,
New York, New Jersey
public
Stadium, as it will
transportation?
be called during the tournament,
Or am I
normally
mistaken that?
costs about $12.90. But during the 8 matches and the World Cup final, it will cost for a non-refundable round-trip ticket $150. Why? To cover the extra costs of labor and security, according to the train operator, NJ Transit. New Jersey Transit says they aren't profiting, but fans and locals alike say it's unfair.
It's ridiculous. It's unreasonable. It makes no sense.
It's excessive. It's not fair. It's taking advantage of an event.
It is out of control. I think that it's absurd, actually.
The only other options to get to this stadium are an $80 shuttle bus, limited parking near the stadium for more than $200, or chancing it with a ride share with no price cap, making the World Cup even further out of reach for many.
We're going to make buses fast, and
We will make buses free. The commitment
Perfect,
to make the
right?
slowest
I did
buses
good
in
with that
America
one.
fast and to make them free. I'll make buses fast and free. That bus is going to be free.
I want to show you guys something, man. Open my
Yeah.
garage door, pulling into my house, and guess what's on, man? The lights are on in the shed. Haven't been in there in 3 days. 3 days. Haven't been in there. Dude, I'm telling you, bro. No, you know what? We're doing this in one take. One take. One take. Oh my gosh, man. Come on. Come on. Let's see. I gotta see what's going on. Hold on. This is insane. Doors open in here too. Hey, who's in here? Hey. Who is in here? Come on, man. Come on. What is that? What is that? Oh my god, dude, Hey, who is in here, man? I'm over it! Did you hear that? My dog's fucking barking too. How's my dog outside? How did my dog just get outside?
I'm going to chime in right here. I 100% get it. If you don't believe it, if this seems far-fetched, I've watched thousands of these videos, you know, on my time on TikTok, and I always have my skeptics about it. No one is home. That is my mother's car that's parked in that same spot for months. If I can figure out how to do that and show you pictures of it or any type of proof, I will. That dog was in that house with the doors fucking locked and everything. I'm walking her right now. But listen, finish watching this video, man. I literally am terrified, and I got to get the fuck out of this house.
And that car is broken down. That's my mother's car that's been here for fucking months. No one is in this house, man. How is my fucking dog outside? Okay. I'm done. I'm done. Oh my God, I'm done. Okay, I'm done.
Alright guys, we were walking through the woods, and right in the middle of this trail we found this pipe. It's about 3 inches in diameter, and it goes so far down we can't even see where it leads. So we're gonna put a GoPro on a string down there and see what we can see.
Whoa, damn. I hear water. Can't tell me there's not underground cities, y'all.
You represent yourself, or do you have an agent?
No, I'm representing myself.
Wow.
Yeah. So I didn't think it was fair that someone was going to represent me and take 5 to 10%.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody taking my money. I'll tell you that.
Tinfoil.
See, it's like people were saying like well, he did screw up, but that's what's wrong. That's why I say like all these people in that NFL, in the NBA, in the MLB, in the NHL, they all have agents, right? The majority, I'm guessing, or if not all of them, or you're not allowed in the club because we need to have something on you because this guy can blow up and who knows, be the next Tom Brady and have so much influence and they have nothing on him, then what? That'd probably off him, right? But the comments were just saying like the McDonald's, you're gonna be working at Subway, you're gonna be doing this and doing that, where people should be like, damn, like stand up, way to stand up to these damn people, right? Why do I need an agent? My play wasn't good enough. It's good enough if I got an agent, I'm a top 10 pick, but if I don't got this guy to make the phone calls, then I'm not good, right? But everyone in the comments were like just bashing him, saying, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. Like he's trying to stand up to the system. And the system's going to make him look like an idiot all over social media, all over ESPN. But I think it's dope. You know, is he going to be able to walk on a team? I mean, he should. He was a Heisman finalist. But if he's not going to go that agent route, I don't know. I guess time will tell. I don't know how that works. I don't know if there's been players out there that represented themselves, but this guy seems to be good enough to get on a team to be drafted in one of those 7 rounds. But since he didn't have that agent to pull those strings, he didn't get drafted.
Theory. Someone made a decision inside our government that the optics of killing dozens of scientists outweighed whatever information they were going to tell us. I think it's one of 2 things. Either an asteroid is heading towards Earth, and they know with certainty it's going to impact us sometime in the near future, and they just want everyone to keep working so society doesn't collapse until then.
That's what they did on 2012, remember? That crazy dude in Yellowstone when he was in there drinking his beer and eating his pickles. He was saying, he's like, that's bull crap, whatever. Charlie, if that would have happened, somebody would have said something. And he's like, oh yeah, they have. And then bam, 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 pulls out all these people killed, 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 killed. Damn, they might have told us in 2012. Y'all go rewatch that scene and look at that. That could be it. It might be anti-gravity. I don't know. Or it could be an asteroid. What sounds more, they figured out anti-gravity, so they're going to off all these people, or there's an asteroid coming and they were going to warn us and they offed them, which they've showed us in movies countless times.
Or they know something about aliens that would absolutely shatter our perception of reality. Maybe we're an ant farm. Maybe we're a science experiment and our government knows it. Or maybe the aliens are working inside our government. Either way, I think it's hard to make an argument against the fact that these scientists knew something that would absolutely fuck shit up.
When they couldn't get Russell out the way, they put some sexual assault on him.
That's right, everybody.
When they couldn't get Puffy out the way, Puffy the last man standing. Puffy went and took them folks, fought them folks, took their money for that defamation. Now all of a sudden, he Epstein. He the nigga Epstein.
That's right.
When Suge and Dre, they love Suge and Dre. Suge and Dre wasn't. Them seen them niggas making too much money and they had to that shit up.
Wow.
They had to put a glitch in the matrix.
They always do.
That's why I ain't scared to say nothing about this, because I actually sit in the bleachers and watch this. I watched them up the game to where now they monopolized it with streaming, because they had to take CDs and tapes away from niggas, because you had the DJ Screws that didn't need a label that was circulating this music and making these tapes and going out there and giving it to the public. We took what they did with crack and turned it into music. And once we start making too much money off the music, we gotta stop this. These niggas making too much money.
Every time.
When they seen niggas form, when they seen them come form the Bloods, when they seen them form the Crips, all that was created after they the Panthers up. Once they the Panthers up, we had to organize in different type of ways for our community, and the soundtrack was our music. So now they gotta make the Bloods up. They gotta make the Crips up, because they had to get the Panthers out the way, because it was too thought-provoking to you had niggas that knew how to organize. Their main thing with black folks, we can't let them niggas organize. That's right. And we can't let them niggas get no generational wealth. Music and organization within our community start creating generational wealth. They had to stop this. It's 3,200 billionaires in this world, bro. 3,200. Ask me how many black.
Come on, tell them.
23. 23. Ask me how many is in the United States.
How many?
It ain't number 8. So you mean to tell me that ain't even 1%. So what you do with the money, see, when you ain't got enough of us in color within that 3,200 work in unison. They work in banking. In any corporate setting, that 3,200 is present. What you seeing a nigga like Trump do right now, they organizing to make sure they stay the elite. With us, when we got into music, when we got into organizing, at the smallest level,
very small.
At the smallest level. If you go back, we invented so much, but with music and organization, when they took the Panthers, we ain't had nothing but growth and development. We didn't have nothing but Bloods. We didn't have nothing but Crips. We trying to organize within the community to make sure that the unity is still there, along with music. So when we had our soundtrack, our frequency going, when you looked at hip hop, when hip hop started, we were teaching. We wasn't doing all that killing and drilling and thugging. We was teaching. We was teaching them a community.
That's hip hop.
I mean, think about how deep that is, y'all. Like, people that aren't into hip hop and don't know this world, right? I don't know it all, but I've done some research on it, y'all, because I still do, but I don't really listen to music anyways. Like, hip hop started off conscious, like you said, but like the gangs, y'all. The gang started off as like protecting our neighborhood, whatever. And then they infiltrated drugs that were brought in from the CIA, brought them into the lower end poverty, neighborhoods. And then they created gangs, right? Then they started bringing in weapons at the train tracks, just dropping off pallets of Uzis, AK-47s, M16s, all these crazy guns, right? When back in the day, like, they would just fight, maybe a baseball bat or a stabbing or something. But then they infiltrated all that, then the drugs, then the music. You're not allowed to make this conscious rap no more. If you're going to make that, you're not going to make it. You got to make drugs, gangs. You got to make all that type of music if you want to make it. And and they're still struggling. You see these gangs now that are saying like, man, if these black gangs in prison would come together, they're all divided, right? If they came together like the Mexican gang, right? That they have one leader at top that calls the shots. These ones got 50,000 different leaders. Everyone, they're all fighting against like they keep people divided, y'all. And they're freaking geniuses at it. They know how to do it. They know to put a certain drug in the streets to make them do it, right? People selling drugs to their own mom. Like it's crazy how the powers that be, the elites, the ones that he said like Trump are trying to make sure the elites stay the elites, how genius and how smart they are to keep people like us dumbed down. It's a trip.
These creatures looked exactly like this. They are the type of alien creature that has been known and feared throughout Africa for generations. This creature is about 3 feet tall. It looks for all the world like a child who is on the last stages of dying of malnutrition. It looks exactly like this, and it has a strange smell, which once you smell it, you shall never forget it. This creature is known by the Zulu-speaking people of South Africa as a mantindane. The word mantindane comes from the verb ntinda, which means to abuse, to fiddle with, and to torture by interfering with the victim's and other private parts. This is an exact description of the Mantindan. It does exactly that. For hundreds of years, even mighty nations such as the Zulus, even powerful warrior nations such as the Botswanas and Xhosas lived in mortal fear of these creatures.
You want to hear the scariest AI story I know? DARPA sets up this station at the top of the world, and all of a sudden the information that the technicians are getting is now 1,000 missiles are on their way to Washington, D.C. with 99.9% certainty. The guy panics, but he trusts. He says, wait a minute. He remembered that the night before he saw Khrushchev on TV at the UN, and he says, where's Khrushchev right now? They check. He's in New York City. Why would the Soviets send 1,000 nuclear weapons our way while their own leader is in New York? So someone had the idea to go outside, and lo and behold, what was there? A big full moon. The system was reading the moon moving and misinterpreted it as 1,000 thermonuclear ICBMs, and they didn't launch.
So we came that close to the end of the world.
So you guys might wonder, like, why is that basketball in the background? That shit's annoying. Take that off, right? It's because Joe Rogan, ever since he went to Spotify, if you put things up with Joe Rogan, you ever see me put like a censor in the middle? It's because they copyright it. They come and take all your money for the video, just for that 1 30-second clip. Like, instead of being like, man, let's get this, like, as much people as want to clip it and whatever, it's going to bring more people over here. People are going to be like, oh, I want to go watch that full interview, this 30-second clip, I want to go watch that. Instead of that, they're so greedy. These people are so greedy that instead of getting more in the long run, they want it all now. So that's why the people are starting to put like a basketball game in the background or something so it doesn't affect the copyright.
Listen, they call the 50 cal the Ma Deuce. And it's the second machine gun the United States Army ever came out with. And it is the most effective machine gun we use today. It has a 5.5-foot barrel. My brother had a bullet at the house that I wanted to show you, but the round, I have a knife that might be able to give you a small, okay, if you take a lighter and you were to stack it 3 times, that's about the size of a 50 cal round. And it's as round as a dime, a little smaller. You know, I'm sure all the fucking Call of Duty kids will act like they were there and tell me all about how I'm wrong, but you weren't Call of Duty kids. Because if you've ever been around a 50 cal, when it shoots, a 50 cal machine gun, when it shoots, you understand that that's when God talks. And that's exactly how his voice sounds. Because when that fucking machine gun starts barking, God's talking and nobody's walking. I've seen it cut a house in half, like it wasn't fucking there. Swiss cheese shit. I've seen it take a car, one round go through a car from one to the other, right out the back. A depleted uranium round, like it wasn't there, dude. Through engine blocks, pow, like it wasn't there. And when I said we use large weapon systems on our vehicles, every single vehicle either had a 50 cal with a 240 or a 249 next to it.
Something went dressed.
You know, I've only shot a gun once. I went to the shooting range once, right? Went with a friend back a long time ago. And I think it was just like a regular 9mm. It wasn't nothing crazy, nothing high caliber. But when I shot that gun, man, I was like, these things have so much, you feel the power when you shoot it. If you've never shot a gun, I'm sure a lot of you guys have, but if you've never shot a gun, like go to a shooting range and just get a clip, y'all, and you'll realize like, damn, these things, like he was saying, this is God speaking, like these things have so much power, and you holding it, you feel that power in your hand. You feel it. And I'm not a gun guy. I didn't grow up with guns. BB gun, that's about it. I don't think I'll ever get a gun, right? Because of everything I go through. I just, not that I don't trust myself, but why even risk it? But man, when you shoot a gun, man, you feel that power.
Well, there was a flash.
And he was gone.
And then he was gone.
When you do your continuing education every 3 years, he'll tell me like, yeah, we watched a video of an industrial electrician in India who evaporated into thin air.
Yeah,
and
he
so
did.
it's not a fucking hobby.
Remember that when the smoke cleared, he was gone.
So what was that? He was working on a control panel.
Switch gear, 15,000 volts. And he was racking in the breaker where it's like on a ratchet and it slides back into place, and something went drastically wrong. There was a flash.
And he was gone.
And then he was gone. After they took a picture looking at the switch gear from basically where he was standing, and the hole went through the switch gear, through the concrete wall, and you could see the blue sky. So it blew the whole back of the switch gear out.
At least it was instant.
And he had a suit on too.
So when I was 4 years old, if I couldn't sleep, I'd walk outside at night and just sit on the grass and look up at the stars. I'd been doing that for about a year. And then after I started kindergarten when I was 5, I went out there one night on a weekend, and I just started thinking about that house. And for some reason, I was like, man, I wonder if I could get away with walking over there and just seeing what's what. You know, Mom said it just sits there by itself. So I just walked down the road, man. It was only 3 mailboxes down the road, and the grass was even taller now, so I had to cut my own path through the grass to get up to this porch. And it was had huge concrete steps. You got up on the porch, and there was this door, and it's a big house, man, 2 stories plus the attic. And I didn't know at the time there was a basement till I got in there, but I didn't go in there that night. But I did try the door, and it was unlocked, and I pulled it open, and this cold air rushed out. And I just stood there for a minute, and I wasn't afraid. And then I started hearing voices, like whispers. And it sounded like more than one person whispering. And I wanted to go in there. I wasn't scared for some reason, even though I was only 5, but I was scared that my parents were going to know that I wasn't out there in the yard. So I went on back to the house. But then I started going back over there. The daytime, I'd ride my bike over there. Because I started riding a bike when I was 3 years old. So by 5, I was going to say, you're a pretty brave kid. Well, listen, so I started just going over there in the daylight. Every inch of the hardwood floors were covered with dead birds. And I picked one up and squeezed it, dude. And feathers come out of it.
Ooh, all right, family. There you have today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. You made it this far. Y'all know what to do. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, y'all. It's going to be 2 o'clock. Got to put this video out at 4 o'clock. It was windy day yesterday, 50, 60 mile an hour winds, dust everywhere. So I had to clean up the yard today, cleaned out the front, cleaned out the back. Vacuumed up all those leaves that were all over my synthetic grass in the backyard. So it's nice and clean now. I still want to, I'm waiting for this windy season to be over so I can take everything out of my garage, because I got a new 4-drawer US General tool cart. I haven't got it yet. It was sold out. So I'm waiting for it. But I want to clean that garage, pressure wash it, and do all that. So I might live stream it while I'm doing that, while I'm cleaning out my yard, my garage and all that, setting up the toolbox and all that. I might live stream it over on my 3rd channel. I might have to, because, I might start making content over there of things I do, like putting a stroller together, putting things together that I do, putting a crib together, things like that. Because, I enjoy working with tools and all that. And I'm learning a lot. I don't know it all, but I'm learning a lot about tools and how to use certain tools. And it's a fun little hobby, y'all. So I might bring you guys along with that once in a while on my third channel. If I'm in the mood to put a camera on and film me putting together my 4-drawer tool cart and loading it up, I'll show you guys that. But anyways, I'm gonna get out of here, get this video edited, get it out to you guys. This is Segovia. I'm signing out of the man cave. I'm gonna see you guys on Wednesday, y'all. Later.